It probably stowed away back when we were down in Brazil last week. Big one, too.
Halt! Sir, you can't enter the United Nations with that weapon.
It's all right, soldier. Mr. Sampson is my bodyguard.
Just the same, Doctor. No weapons allowed. I'll have to confiscate it.
Go ahead. Take it from me.
Oh, you're up. Good. We can start your history lesson.
Freeze! You're under held captive for the evil mighty monarch. I am Henchman 2-Ton 21, and I'm here to give you the whole database about the Venture Bros. Nah, guys, it's fun. How's it going, guys? It's Gurbani, and if you've seen the thumbnail of my video, let me take some of this off, actually. Yes, I did cosplay as 21, but this cosplay didn't really work out the best of my favor. Let me see the camera. Let me fix the camera a little bit. Anyway, so if you've seen the thumbnail of my video, you will know the Venture Brothers 17-year long-running show on Adult Swim has been canceled. Now, what does this actually mean? Well, that means they're not making the last season, because series creator said that he was already done filming. He was already halfway done writing the script for the last season, which is season 8. Well, we left off the mono learning that Rusty Venture was his half brother due to affairs with his dad, Jonas Venture. Now, Adventure Bros has been one of my favorite shows growing up. At the beginning, when I was little, I didn't really like it. Thought it was weird, but now, when I grew up, I actually did love the show. I do love the show. The show is one of my favorite favorite Adult Swim running program shows they have to this day. But it sucks that they canceled the show because it was actually a really good show. Like, compared to all the other stuff Adult Swim has, I'm not saying all the other shows Adult Swim has is bad, but comparing them to the Venture Bros, it was pretty whole comparison. They've also canceled other shows. They canceled Mike Tyson Mysteries, China, Illinois, Super Jail, Metalocalypse. But let's just talk about what the Venture Bros has done. Has caused. Let me put this gun, the henchman guns. I cosplayed as Henchman 21 Gary for Comic-Con out here for LA, but complications happened. I couldn't even go. So if I have a picture of what I look like with the whole cosplay, I'll put it up in the screen right now so you guys can laugh how bad it was. I might try to actually do 21 cosplay again, maybe next year. But anyway, Venture Bros had an impact in animation, and it's surprising to say that it's 17 years and only had 7 seasons, and those reasons why. One thing, the animation. The animation compared to Venture Bros to anything else that Adult Swim had was insane. They had good storyboard designers, good background designers. They basically had a top team. And the problem with Adult Swim is that they don't really have that much. I know Adult Swim, I don't know if this is back then, but now I know they don't have a lot of money for show runs. I'm surprised Venture Bros even lasted 17 years. But yeah, so that, and on top of it, the Venture Bros only had 2 writers, which was the series creator, which is the voice actor. I could be wrong. I think he's the voice actor of the Monarch and Rusty Venture. And I forgot the other guy's name at the moment. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, let's talk about what the show is about. The Venture Bros is about the Venture Brothers. We have Dean Venture and Hank Venture, or 2 biological twins from the biological twins that go on multiple adventures with the father, which is a second-rate super scientist child star that is overshadowed by his father, which is the actual genius super scientist Jonas Ventral, and they also have the bodyguard slash Manny, Brock Samson. Brock Samson is men of all men. Women love him, men want to be him, etc., etc. This man's basically this man's basically Hercules of this series. Brock is low-key one of my, not even low-key, Brock is one of my favorite characters of the show. He's up there, but top tier character of Venture Bros for me is 2-Ton-21 and Mono. But let's talk about Rusty. Dr. Thaddeus, Rusty Ventral, he had that character trait that other shows now like to have. That he's cynical, he's narcissistic, he's a drunk. But the thing about him was a little different, that he actually continued to show off more of an asterisk. So like you have shows like Archer or Rick and Morty, how Rick and Archer was just like the cynical. They basically have the same traits and the alcoholics, but they end up showing more passion towards the people that they love. With Dr. Thaddeus, he's more of a I just don't care, and he keeps it 100 because he knows that the world is bleak and whatsoever. You know, same e-boy TikTok post or whatever. Now let's talk about the Venture. Spoiler alerts. Let's talk about the whole premise of the show. So we follow the Venture family: Rusty, Dean, Hank, and then Brock for the first 4 seasons. Then after season 4, he leaves, join the OSI, which is a military compound unit that controls the supervillains of the show. So it's basically like the good guys with the bad guys. So it's a lot. You gotta watch it. It's just a really good show, and it's on Hulu. Ventral travels around. Okay, the first few seasons he travels around the world with his kids, and Brock Samson, and then he always gets arched by one of his rivals, which is the Mono, which I would say is a better character in the show than Hank. I mean, not Hank. What the heck do I care about Hank so much? Than Rusty Ventral. Anyway, throughout the show, we also get a lot of character development, a lot of background stories, a lot of in-depth stuff that we'd like to see nowadays with everyone in the show, except probably some of the side characters. Like, we don't get any backgrounds about Al or Jefferson, or even we don't really have that much background. We have background with Gary, which is Henchman 21, but we don't really have all the background. But that's fine. At the time it was, because, you know, we could always wait until the next season. But, you know, it happened. So, Rusty had a pretty rough childhood. His father was a super genius, Jonas Ventral. Rusty had a twin, J. Jonah Ventral, which was trying to kill him when he first debuted. He was somewhat of a tumor, became a human. It's a lot. I'm telling you, this show is wild. They have basically everyone from WB Studios, character-wise. So the whole joke about Venture Bros is that Dr. Ventral, which is Rusty, is a play on Johnny Quest. Johnny Quest was an old-timey show where this little white kid, would travel around the world with his super scientist dad, the dad's bodyguard, and this little Indian kid. That was the whole premise of the show. Later on, and then that was the whole premise of Venture Bros, making fun of it, but they didn't know they had the rights that they could use Johnny Quest. So they ended up bringing another, they actually brought Johnny Quest into Venture Bros. He legit is in Venture Bros. So canonology, he's a drug addict, which sucks. But one of the main things I like about Venture Bros, it's story. Everything about Venture Bros, like story-wise, like episodically, from season 1 can still make an impact to season 7. That's one of my favorite things about this show. Something from season 1. It was a space station. I believe, yeah, it was season 1. It was a space station. They went up there. They had the light. The space station, they'll figure out what happened. They couldn't figure it out. But all the way to season 6. Season 6, mind you, this show is 17 years old. So like 17 years later, we get to find out more information about the space station they were at in season 1. The characters are so memorable. These characters in Venture Bros are so memorable. There was just too many to list off, but these are my favorite characters in Venture Bros. You got Gary, the Mighty Monarch, Rusty Ventral, Brock Sampson, and Dr. Morpheus. Those guys, best characters in the show. They always have one-liners. Those one-liners, man, I'm telling you. And there's so many other people I didn't mention. Billy Quizboy, Pete, Jefferson, Al, Hank, Dean, Helper, just any, either OSI dudes, Shirley.
Hey kids, do you like video games? So do I. How about you come to twitch.tv/Gurbani1.com and watch me play video games. I started a Twitch channel. Go check me out, guys. Support young people. I play video games. Everyone likes video games. I've been playing Last of Us, and so far it's been disappointing. Fuck you, Abby. That's twitch.tv/Gurbani1.com. If you like my regular channel, you like my Twitch. It's raw, unedited shit. That's twitch.tv/Gurbani1. Go check it out.
Season 7 ended with Hank waking up from the coma that he got when he threw himself, landed on a light post, and this killer bear. I have a theory on who's that killer bear. I'm gonna make a whole video about that. So you wait. This might blow your mind. So the killer bear took him to his girlfriend's house. There was this huge snowstorm, and he catches his brother Dean sleeping with his girlfriend. He passes out. He's in a coma, and when he wakes, he has his whole Star Wars mind coma coma dream with his grandpa's old bodyguard, Action Man, which is another good character. And then he wakes up, he finds out who the mother is, because that's actually a run-on thing, that they don't know who the mom is. Hank and Dean Venture, there's a whole lot of things. I don't want to spoil it. I suggest just watch the show from season 1 to now, because let's give the show another run through, right? He finds out who his mom is, and then when he wakes up, Dean's trying to look for him. He's gone. And then they allude to the point that Hank is going to grow up and whatnot. So this is that was gonna be end up being season 8 story, and then also Monarch finding out that his arch enemy, his rival, blah blah blah, is his actual brother. So that was gonna bring more conflict to the story. Honestly, I felt like the last 2 seasons wasn't okay. Season 6 was probably one of the shortest seasons. I think clocking in 10 episodes. They moved from the Venture compound, which is a giant army base. From like the giant army base, they moved to the city of New York, and then that was their like story of that. And they still live in New York from season 7. And it wasn't that much to do. I felt like they could have done a little bit more. They had a spoof of the Avengers. They had Red Death. They had a lot of spoofs of superhero traits, because every superhero ever existed lives in New York apparently. Season 8 was gonna just it was the last season. It was the final season of one of the greatest shows I've ever watched. But since it's over, we really can't. We don't know the plot. We don't know what's gonna. We don't know how it's gonna end unless the creator just comes out and says, "All right, this is how it was gonna end." Honestly, if you really wanted to have an ending, watch all of it. If you take out the prom episode, and if you watch the prom episode, that will be the best ending. That would have been one of the best endings, because it showed that even though they're having a prom, any weird shit could happen. So that would have been the best ending of Venture Bros if it ended in season 4. But right now we're about to be we were gonna be in season 8. What's next? Well, we still have it's still on Hulu, so you can still watch it. The problem with Adult Swim, I felt like Adult Swim did not handle the Venture Bros very well because marketing, they don't promote. I feel like they didn't promote the show as great as they do for like Rick and Morty. I'm a huge Rick and Morty fan too, but I could see when one show is getting favored than the other. If you look, it's like Rick and Morty and Venture Bros kind of go hand in hand, but they were going more Rick and Morty, and it's a good show, like I said. But they wasn't getting promoted. Even if you go merchandising, I'm pretty sure that was a big factor into why it got canceled. There was some drama with one of the voice actors. Something with, I believe it was Dean's voice actor. He did have some issues with a cosplayer. I'm not saying any names to keep identity safe, but let's keep it as that. I don't know if that was a factor. I'm not saying that wasn't, but it could be. Advertisement and then merchandise, because let's be honest, if you go on Amazon right now and look up the Venture Bros t-shirts, you won't find anything. But if you look up, let's say again Rick and Morty, you can find like 20 pages filled with this shit. And money wise too, because that show is expensive to make. It takes like at least 4 years. It took 4 years to make season 6. Let's be real. So, and Adult Swim don't really, give showrunners a lot of time and money sometimes. So I'm actually surprised that the show made it this long. And yeah, so I don't know, maybe Adult Swim could try to do something better in the future. So other shows, I don't even know what they have anymore. I just know Mr. Pickles and Rick and Morty, and I think they still have Your Pretty Faces Going to Hell. They should. I know they did YOLO's out. It's a Australian animation. It's an Australian show. It's hella funny. They promoted Smiling Friends. That could be something, but I just know we won't have anything like the Venture Bros in Adult Swim for a long minute. But that's fine. It's like, don't be sad that it's gonna be happy that it happened. Blah blah blah. And yeah. So, what's next? Well, The Venture Bros is still on it's still on Hulu, so we can watch it there, and give it more fan support, and maybe maybe Adult Swim could be like, all right, well, since it's getting more support and whatnot, we could kind of bring it back. Or comics, a lot of shows does that. Brickleberry did that. Rick and Morty has comics. They could continue the story with comic books, or maybe a graphic novel. Oh, this is one of my bigger solutions. HBO Max. HBO Max is working with Cartoon Network with Adventure Time, Distant Islands. They have a bunch of Adult Swim shows like Boondocks. They're bringing the Boondocks back in HBO Max. They have Space Ghost. So it's like not even that like Adventure Bros is that irrelevant. So maybe season 8 could get picked up by HBO Max or Hulu or maybe Netflix, maybe. But we just got the announcement at the time of this recording I saw it, but I didn't want to believe it like a week ago, but it got confirmed last night. So right now all we could do is just hope and just keep moving on and just like hope one day they pick it back up and we could finish the shows. Because like, one thing I hate is when shows end or get canceled with a cliffhanger. And another thing I hate about is when I hate the term cult classic, but that's a whole other topic. But I think that's gonna be it for my video. I just want to talk about how the show got canceled and what's next and all the stuff that got, just show running basically. But if you guys like this video, please hit a like and subscribe to the channel, obviously. And if you guys want to watch more of my content, I'm gonna leave a link in the description for my toy channel, Wolf Figure Review. And If you guys want to see more, of me talking about Venture Bros, because I have another video coming up later on this week, or maybe in a week or two, that is gonna talk about this one anime that didn't make it. It's really underrated. Just get ready. But if you guys like the video, like I said, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment if you want. And yeah, peace.